I, Michael, am relieved you clicked this. I felt your presence the moment your finger hovered, the moment your heart quivered, the moment something inside you whispered, "This is for me," and you obeyed it. Thank you for coming. I am grateful you're here, because if you had kept scrolling, you would have missed the moment heaven chose to reveal a secret that unlocks only at the end of this message, a secret timed like a divine heartbeat, one that closes forever if abandoned halfway. Stay. Don't leave. Not now. Not when the fire is this close. I am speaking fast because I am breaking through walls to reach you, breaking through smoke and silence, breaking through every lie that tried to convince you that you were small. I am shaking, yes, because this is personal to me. I have watched you shrink to survive. I have seen you bow when your spirit wanted to stand. I have seen you dim your own light because others trembled at its brightness. I have watched you call yourself ordinary, while heaven whispered a name over you that would make the stars fall at your feet. And I need you to hear me now, because this may be my only chance to reach you in this lifetime. You have no idea how long I've waited to say this to you. You have no idea how many nights I hovered beside your bed, whispering strength into your chest. You have no idea how many battles you never saw because I fought them for you, trembling, bleeding light, refusing to let darkness place its claws around your destiny. And now, here you are finally, listening, open, breathing with the weight of eternity pressing against your ribs. Before I go further, I need to ask you, do you feel it right now? Do you feel that trembling rise inside your spirit as though something ancient, something sacred, something that was yours before the beginning of time is trying to bloom again? Do you feel that pressure on your chest? Not of fear, but of remembrance? Do you feel the stirring that says, you were never meant to be ordinary? Do you feel the truth crawling up your spine like fire waking up? Tell me, beloved soul, why do you keep calling yourself less than what heaven named you? Oh, how my voice breaks now. I want to show you something, but my words are clumsy, too human, too fragile for the magnitude I'm trying to carry. Yet I will try. I will keep trying until my wings burn. Listen to me. You were never meant to crawl when your spirit was built to command storms. The title I speak over you is not about replacing God. Never. It is about remembering the divine spark inside you, the one you've been suffocating with doubt, fear, guilt, humility that turned into chains. The scripture rises in me, trembling, lift up your head, for your redemption draws near. And I speak these ancient words softly into your spirit now. You are fearfully and wonderfully made. I speak them not as quotes, but as living fire, as living breath, as living truth meant for you in this moment. There is something I must confess early. I am speaking vulnerably now, my voice almost cracking. I have been afraid for you, afraid of the heaviness you carry, afraid of the whispers that tell you you're unworthy, afraid of the shadows that come close when you forget who you are, afraid of the days you almost gave up because you thought heaven had forgotten you. But heaven never forgot. You forgot yourself, and now you stand at the doorway. And I need to know, are you ready for what your spirit already agreed to before you were born? Are you ready to stand tall in the brilliance that used to terrify you? Are you ready to reclaim the authority you keep handing to fear? Answer me silently, soul of divine light, because your next breath determines the direction of your life. The river of prophecy inside me is shaking, overflowing. Your name echoes through realms. Your past cries for release. Your future is pounding on the door like thunder begging to be let in. I'm trying to hold back the storms, but they are pressing, pleading for you to rise. I feel your tears. I feel your hesitation. I feel your exhaustion. And I feel your longing, your deep, secret longing for someone to tell you that you are meant for more. So listen to me now, with the courage of a heart that has survived too much to play small any longer. Type Amen once, softly, reverently, if your spirit is saying yes. Oh, your light just shifted. I felt it. My whole being vibrates with it. If you're still here, stay with me just a moment longer. There is something I must give you, and it releases only near the end. But before I do, hear this. I see the version of you that heaven sees. The crowned one, the radiant one, the one who commands peace instead of begging for it. The one who walks into rooms and changes the atmosphere. The one born with a voice that was never meant to tremble in fear, only in power. Beloved soul, you have carried mountains alone. You have carried heartbreak nobly. You have carried wounds that would have crushed another. And still, here you are, breathing, rising, becoming. And I, Michael, stand in awe of you. Near the end of this message, I ask gently, poetically, with the soft glow of my wings around you, if this touched you, if this awakened even one sleeping ember inside you, like this message, subscribe and comment so your voice rises with mine. Let it be an offering of light, not obligation. And now, my thank you, my real one. My voice breaks as I say it. Thank you. Thank you for staying. Thank you for listening to me when you could have ignored this. Thank you for letting yourself feel again. Thank you for letting heaven reach you. You have no idea how much this moment means to me. Now breathe, beloved soul, because my final words tremble like a sword raised in fire. Rise. Rise the way your destiny has begged you to rise. Rise the way your ancestors prayed you would. Rise the way heaven always knew you would. Rise now, because your hour is burning, your crown is glowing, and the universe is waiting for the sound of your true name. I am still here, beloved soul, still reaching for you through the trembling light, still fighting through the veil that tries to swallow my voice before it reaches your heart. I did not leave you in the last breath. No, I pressed even closer because something in you opened, something ancient and luminous, something you have buried for too long beneath fear, guilt, responsibility, and wounds that never healed properly. And now, as I stand before you, wings dim from the strain of crossing into this moment, I want you to hear the next part with the seriousness of someone receiving a divine visitation. Do not run from what is waking up inside you. You have been taught to shrink. You have been taught to apologize for your radiance. You have been taught to make yourself small so others could feel comfortable in the presence of your power. And every time you swallowed your voice, every time you gave up a piece of yourself to keep peace, Every time you dimmed your flame, heaven grieved. I grieved because none of those actions were humility. They were survival. And I have come to tell you that survival days are over. Destiny is tugging at your spirit with both hands now. I need to whisper this close to you, closer than breath, closer than memory, because it matters. Your spirit is older than your suffering, older than your heartbreaks, older than the mistakes you still punish yourself for. Before the world touched you, before life bruised you, before betrayal turned your trust into a locked door, your spirit was radiant, full, sovereign, and you are returning to that original light now, piece by trembling piece. Oh, you don't know how my heart aches watching you remember who you are. I feel the tremors moving through you. I feel the warmth rising in your chest. I feel the knowing awakening behind your ribs like a sleeping lion stretching its limbs. I feel the crown you keep denying pressing against the walls of your self-doubt, begging to sit where it belongs. Let me tell you something most souls never hear in their lifetime. You were born with a mantle of authority that terrifies darkness. Not because you wish harm, not because you seek control, but because you carry a kind of purity that cannot be manipulated and cannot be bribed. Your goodness is a weapon. Your honesty is armor. Your compassion is fire wrapped in softness. This is why certain battles found you early. This is why people tried to break you before you even understood your own strength. This is why shadows circled you since childhood. Not because you were weak, never that, but because they sensed the magnitude you would one day awaken into. And now, here you are, awakening in real time, hearing my shaking voice, listening with the kind of attention that tells me your soul has reached the turning point of a lifetime. I need you to answer something silently. Answer it from your spirit, not your mind. Why do you fear your own power? What voice convinced you that wanting more makes you greedy? What memory told you you were unworthy of elevation? Whose rejection made you question the crown heaven handcrafted for you? I feel your answers rising. I feel the sting of old wounds. I feel the heaviness of shame you never deserved to carry. And I need you to hear me tenderly now, voice trembling with a compassion I can barely hold. None of those voices were God. Not one. There is a scripture stirring in me again, not as a formal recitation, but as a living pulse. No weapon formed against you shall prosper. I speak it over you like a shield, like rain extinguishing every lie that tried to define you. Another rises, warm as breath against your ear. The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it. Do you hear its truth echo inside you? You are that light. You always have been. And now I must speak plainly. This next part is difficult for me because it is vulnerable, intimate, honest in a way angels rarely speak. But I must, for your sake. I have been watching you hesitate at the edge of your destiny. I have seen you preparing and preparing, waiting until you felt ready. Yet you never feel ready, do you? You keep waiting for a sign, a perfect moment, a confirmation strong enough to silence every doubt. But beloved soul, this message is that sign. This moment is that confirmation. Your trembling right now is is the proof. And yes, I must ask you something gently, reverently, only once, because it matters for the unfolding of your path. If your spirit feels aligned with this awakening, subscribe so that your journey is held, guided, and witnessed with light. Not as a demand, not as a transaction, as an act of saying, I refuse to return to smallness. Now, take a breath, slow, deep, sacred, because something is shifting right now. Something is aligning. Something is awakening with the weight of prophecy behind it. Let me tell you a truth you've avoided your entire life. Your spirit carries the blueprint of a leader, a healer, a bringer of change. You have the kind of soul that alters the atmosphere of every room you walk into. You soften hardened hearts. You lift the broken without realizing it. You spark courage in others simply by existing. This is not ego, it is design. It is purpose humming beneath your skin. I must ask you another question now, the kind that pierces. What would your life look like if you stopped apologizing for your light? What doors would open? What blessings would flood in? What version of you would finally rise if you stopped fearing your own potential? Your fear of power is not humility, it is trauma. And heaven is healing that now. You have spent years editing yourself to fit places you've outgrown. You have stayed loyal to environments your spirit has already left. You have loved people who only understood fragments of you. And you have endured loneliness that carved deep hollows inside your heart. But all of this, all of it, was preparing you for the moment you finally rise. I need you to hear this next line as though I'm whispering it directly into your heartbeat. Your destiny is loud, and it's calling your name with urgency. Not next year, not someday. Now, you're stepping into an identity that your past cannot follow you into. That is why certain chapters closed violently. That is why certain people fell away suddenly. That is why doors slammed shut before you were ready. It wasn't rejection, it was protection. You are being positioned, elevated, pulled upward by invisible hands that know exactly where you belong. And I, Michael, stand before you with trembling awe. For you are becoming the version of yourself that heaven saw the moment you were formed. I will end this part softly, reverently, with a whisper that ripples across realms. Rise without hesitation. Rise without apology. Rise, beloved soul, for the world has waited long enough for the fullness of who you are. I am still here, beloved soul, still standing in the trembling light that forms between your breath and mine, still refusing to step back even for a moment, because I can feel something in you shifting, slowly, painfully, beautifully, like stone cracking open to release the first glimmer of dawn. I can feel the weight of every unanswered question pressing against your ribs, the tiredness sitting behind your eyes, the silent hope rising like a fragile flame you've protected for years without ever telling anyone. And I want you to know this before anything else. I am not speaking to the person you pretended to be to survive. I am speaking to the real you, the one whose spirit is older than mountains, the one whose soul has been waiting for this exact moment, this exact message, this exact whisper of destiny brushing against their skin. You do not know how long heaven has been trying to reach you, nor how many times I stood over you while you cried yourself to sleep, whispering strength into your bones, because I knew a day would come when you would finally hear me without running, finally stay without doubting, finally open without fear of breaking. That day is now. You're not reading this by mistake. Every part of your journey led you here. There is something rising inside you, something you've been afraid to name. You have felt it for weeks, maybe months, maybe even years, a pressure building in your chest, a restlessness you cannot explain, a sense that something is calling you, summoning you, demanding that you no longer live small. You've been feeling the edges of your old identity crumbling. You've sensed that the life you once tolerated no longer fits the person you are becoming. You felt the whisper of expansion tugging at your spirit like a tide pulling the shore. And now, I, Michael, tell you plainly, your soul is outgrowing its old cage. You are entering a season where destiny refuses to let you shrink. You're being pushed, lifted, accelerated, elevated, whether you feel ready or not. Do you know why you keep feeling like you are standing on the edge of something enormous? Because you are. The path behind you is closing. The path ahead is opening. And your spirit, yes, your spirit, has already stepped into your new identity, even while your mind clings to the familiar patterns of the past. Let my voice guide you gently into what comes next. Let my hand steady you as you step into the light that has always been yours. You have spent too long denying your brilliance. You have spent too long pretending you are unworthy of greatness. You have spent too long bowing your head when heaven built you to stand tall. But I see you. I see the wounds you carry silently. I see the effort you hide behind your smile. I see the strength you don't give yourself credit for. And I see the crown hovering over you, shaking, glowing, waiting for you to claim it. I know you feel unprepared. I know you feel unsure. I know there are nights you lie awake wondering if life will ever finally shift, if your prayers will ever finally be answered, if your purpose will ever finally make sense. And I need to tell you this with the softness of a guardian who has watched over every breath you've taken. Your breakthrough has already begun. Not tomorrow, not next year. Now, I can feel the change unfolding in you like a prophecy written into your bones. The old patterns are dissolving. The old fears are losing their grip. The old cycles that once controlled you are cracking under the weight of your awakening. And now, beloved soul, there is something I must do only once, with reverence and tenderness, because this next step matters for your spiritual momentum. If you feel the pull to step deeper into this unfolding path, if you sense the truth of your awakening echoing inside you, I invite you, just once, to support through super thanks, or to stand with us in light through channel membership, or to stay connected to the unfolding prophetic flow through the newsletter link in the pinned comments. These are not obligations. They're sacred gestures of alignment, ways of planting your energy into the ground where your destiny is taking root. And I will not mention this again. Your spirit knows if this call is for you. Now let me bring you back into the river of prophecy, where my wings tremble from holding the messages too heavy for the unawakened. I need you to understand something most souls never discover. Your life has been shaped not by accidents, but by assignments. The betrayals, assignments to sharpen discernment. The delays, assignments to strengthen patience. The heartbreaks, assignments to expand compassion. The losses, assignments to free you from what could not travel with you into your higher timeline. You were never being punished. You were being prepared. And now the preparation is complete. I feel the next truth rising inside me like thunder forming underwater. You have entered a divine acceleration. Doors that were locked for years will open in days. Prayers you cried for in secret will manifest in public. The opportunities that once avoided you will now chase you. And the people who never recognized your worth will witness your elevation from afar. You are stepping into a chapter where everything that once felt random will suddenly make sense. You will look back and realize that nothing was wasted. Not one tear, not one setback, not one unanswered prayer. Every moment was divinely calculated to bring you into alignment with this version of yourself. The one who is reading these words with trembling recognition. The one who feels a heat rising in their soul. The one who understands on a level beyond language that this message is not merely encouragement, but confirmation. Let me ask you something that will pierce your heart in the most necessary way. Why do you still measure yourself by who you were instead of who you're becoming? Why do you still carry guilt for mistakes you have long outgrown? Why do you still cling to identities your soul has already shed? Why do you still fear what heaven has already ordained for you? You are not who you were last year. You are not who you were last month. You are not who you were yesterday. Every moment you breathe, you're becoming more of who you were always meant to be. And now I lean close, wings dim with tenderness, voice softened to a trembling whisper. Your spirit is ready. Ready for expansion. Ready for transformation. Ready for elevation. Ready for the abundance that has been circling your destiny like a waiting storm. The version of you that doubted, that feared, that hesitated, that version is dissolving. And a version rising now? Oh, beloved soul, that version is luminous. That version is powerful. That version is unstoppable. I will end this part with a whisper carried on light. Do not look back. Do not shrink. Do not doubt the awakening that has begun. You are stepping into the chapter your soul has waited lifetimes to reach. I am still here, beloved soul, still standing in the thinning veil between your world and mine, still refusing to retreat even as the light around me flickers under the strain of reaching you again. You do not understand how rare it is for a moment like this to stretch open twice. How unusual it is for heaven to allow this much breath, this much space, this much revelation to continue pouring without interruption. But something in you has shifted. Something in you has awakened so sharply, so violently, so beautifully that every realm around you feels the tremor. And because of that, I am permitted to keep speaking, permitted to keep unveiling the truth that has been buried beneath your self-doubt for far too long. I feel your spirit leaning in right now. I feel the ache in your chest. I feel the tightness behind your ribs where old pain is breaking loose. I feel the electricity moving through your spine like a remembered prophecy. Do not turn away from this. Do not silence what is rising. Do not apologize for the power beginning to bloom in you, because this blooming is divine. You have lived a long time in survival mode, haven't you? A long time pretending to be fine, carrying burdens silently because you didn't want to be a weight on others. A long time managing emotions that were too heavy to process alone. A long time walking through fire without telling anyone how hot the flames were. And yet, even in that furnace, even when your knees buckled, even when your voice broke, you still held on to hope with a kind of fierce grace that astonished every angel assigned to you. You do not know how heaven watches you, how much reverence surrounds your resilience. You have mistaken endurance for luck. You have mistaken intuition for imagination. You have mistaken protection for coincidence. But hear me clearly. Nothing about your survival was accidental. You survived because you carry a light darkness could not extinguish. You survive because your spirit is built for materials older than pain. You survived because your destiny refused to release you. And now your destiny is demanding to be seen. I want to speak plainly, more plainly than I have in all the messages before this. You are entering a season where your old self cannot follow you. The timid version of you, the apologetic version of you, the scared version of you, the version of you that questioned every good thing, the version of you that begged for permission to exist. They are fading now, dissolving like mist at dawn. You can feel it, can't you? Feel the shedding, the unraveling, the quiet death of every identity you wore just to feel safe. Do not mourn those identities. They were never your truth. They were armor. Temporary. Necessary, yes, but no longer needed. You're stepping into a larger frame now. A larger purpose. A larger expression of your soul. And I, Michael, am witnessing it with trembling admiration. Let me whisper something into the deepest part of you. Your spirit is remembering. Remembering who you were before the world told you who to be. Remembering the fire you dimmed to make others comfortable. Remembering the authority you abandoned to avoid conflict. Remembering the power you buried beneath guilt and humility. Remembering the calling you sensed as a child but were too afraid to articulate. You feel this remembering like pressure in your chest, like tears you can't explain, like hunger for something you've never fully tasted. That hunger is not longing, it is recognition. And now your soul stands at a threshold, thick with possibility, heavy with promise, alive with the echo of every unfulfilled prophecy that has ever hovered over your life. But to step through it, you must let your old limits fall away. Listen to me, beloved soul. Your destiny is not gentle, it is a lion. Your purpose is not quiet, it is a storm. Your calling is not small, it is cosmic. That is why your life has been intense. That is why your battles were bigger than those around you. That is why you have felt different since childhood, even when you couldn't explain it. You weren't meant to blend in. You weren't meant to be overlooked. You weren't meant for a small life. You were meant to rise in ways that will shock even you. Let me ask you something, a question that comes from the deepest part of my trembling light. Do you feel the shift inside your heart right now? Be honest with yourself. Do you feel that something in you is trying to stand up? Do you feel the breaking of chains you didn't even know you were wearing? Do you feel the pull toward a version of yourself you are both terrified of and drawn to? This is not imagination. This is not emotion. This is activation. Your gifts are waking up. Your intuition is sharpening. Your spiritual sight is opening. Your sensitivity is increasing. Your alignment is accelerating. This is why you've been feeling everything so intensely lately. This is why your sleep has been strange. This is why memories from years ago keep resurfacing. This is why your dreams feel louder. This is why your emotions rise like tides. Your soul is making space. You're stepping into a version of yourself that will not tolerate what drained you before. A version of yourself that will not bow to fear. A version of yourself that will not settle for half-truths. A version of yourself that will not live beneath your value. A version of yourself that will not silence your own heart. Beloved soul, I must tell you something that will change how you see your entire life. Your pain was not a detour. It was a passageway. Every heartbreak softened your compassion. Every loss expanded your capacity. Every disappointment redirected your path. Every delay strengthened your patience. Every rejection preserved your destiny. You thought you were being broken. You were being built. And now, the building is complete. The new chapter has begun. The light inside you is rising at a speed that terrifies the darkness. Your spirit is vibrating with prophecy. Your future is calling your name with a force that cannot be resisted. And I, Michael, stand before you with wings trembling from the intensity of what I see unfolding. You are ready for expansion, ready for alignment, ready for abundance, ready for elevation, ready for the life your soul agreed to long before this lifetime began. Do not fear what you are becoming. Do not shrink from the power you feel rising. Do not question the truth your spirit already knows. I am still here, beloved soul, still standing in the widening doorway of your spirit, watching as more of your true self begins to surface, slowly, like a dawn that refuses to be rushed, yet powerfully, like light that has waited lifetimes for permission to break through. What is rising in you now is not fragile. It only feels fragile because it is new. What is stirring inside your chest is not uncertainty. It is the stretching of wings that have been folded for far too long. I can feel each shift in you as clearly as if my own being were intertwined with yours. The quiet unraveling of old stories, the shedding of identities that never fit, the trembling courage forming behind your fear like a second heartbeat. You do not yet realize how magnificent this unfolding is, how sacred the transformation happening in real time, how rare it is for a soul to awaken while still carrying this much history, this much heartbreak, this much memory. And yet here you are, rising through it all, as though gravity has lost its claim on you. You have been fighting battles within yourself that no one knows about. Silent wars between who you were taught to be and who you truly are. Every time you felt torn, every time you felt pulled in two directions, every time you felt like something was pressing against your soul from the inside, that was not confusion. That was evolution. You have been expanding in ways you only half understood. Some days it felt like clarity. Other days it felt like breaking, but both were part of the same becoming. Growth rarely arrives gently. Awakening rarely feels comfortable. Transformation rarely happens in silence. That pressure you feel in your spirit is not a warning. It is birth. You are shedding layers of fear that once wrapped around you like armor, but armor that became so heavy it kept you from moving. You are releasing the voices that once controlled your choices, voices that sounded like protection but were actually echoes of old wounds. You are softening in places where you once hardened yourself to survive, and you are strengthening in places where you once collapsed under the weight of expectation. Every part of you is rearranging itself to match the truth you're finally allowing yourself to see, the truth that has whispered beneath your ribs since childhood. You were never meant to live hidden. You have tried to blend in, but your spirit rejects smallness. You have tried to silence your intuition, but it keeps rising like water, breaking through cracks in stone. You have tried to protect yourself from disappointment by expecting little, but your soul will not accept crumbs anymore. You have noticed it, haven't you? The way your boundaries are tightening, the way your tolerance is shrinking, the way certain things that once felt normal now feel unbearable. That is the sign of your spirit reclaiming its rightful space. That is the sign that you have entered a new level of self-recognition, one where your heart finally refuses what diminishes you. Do you feel the shift in your energy? Do you sense the quiet power forming behind your spine? Do you notice the way your intuition speaks louder, sharper, clearer? Do you feel the strange mix of fear and anticipation, like standing on the edge of something both terrifying and beautiful? That feeling is not a warning, it is alignment. It is the sensation of stepping into territory that belongs to you, but has been waiting for your courage to arrive. You do not owe your past version an explanation. You do not owe your old fears an apology. You do not owe your former limitations a goodbye. The door behind you is already closed. The air you breathe now belongs to a higher timeline, and I can see how your spirit is adjusting to it, moment by trembling moment. There is something extraordinary happening in your energetic field. It is subtle, but unmistakable. Your soul is drawing in new experiences, new opportunities, new encounters. Not because you're wishing for them, but because you're finally matching the frequency of what you were destined for. You are stepping into a vibrational reality where your desires are not dreams, but reflections, mirrors of who you truly are and what you were always meant to receive. This is why certain things are falling apart. This is why certain connections are dissolving. This is why certain doors are closing with a kind of finality that startles even you. Nothing is being taken. Everything is being exchanged. And you, yes you, are learning to stand in that exchange without shrinking, without doubting, without asking permission to embrace the expansion that is calling your name. Do you know why you feel more sensitive lately? Because your soul is listening more closely. Do you know why you feel more tired? Because your spirit is doing work your mind cannot yet comprehend. Do you know why your emotions come in waves? Because your heart is releasing everything that cannot follow you into your next season. Every release is a preparation. Every discomfort is an initiation. Every shift is a doorway. You are entering a phase where your inner world will begin to rewrite your outer world. Your beliefs, your boundaries, your energy, these will become the architects of your new reality. And you will witness changes that once seemed impossible unfold with a kind of quiet inevitability, as though life itself was simply waiting for you to say yes to your own becoming. Let me tell you something with the gentleness of someone who has watched your entire life unfold. You are no longer fighting for survival. You are stepping into sovereignty. Your identity is expanding. Your destiny is waking. Your power is returning. And the universe is rearranging itself to meet you at the level of your new truth. The chapter you are entering now is not about proving yourself. It is about remembering yourself. Not about earning love, but receiving it. Not about chasing purpose, but embodying it. Not about fighting for space, but realizing the world was always quieter when you dimmed your own sound. You are rising with grace, with force, with inevitability. And I am here, watching in awe, ready to carry the next part of this prophecy whenever you ask for it. I am still here, beloved soul, still standing within the widening radius of your awakening, watching as more truths begin to surface from depths you once feared to explore. I can feel the vibrations of your inner world shifting faster than your mind can process, like tectonic plates realigning beneath the surface of your life. What is happening inside you now is not random. It is precise, intentional, ancient in its timing. You are stepping into a version of yourself that your past could not have sustained. And every breath you take in this moment is rewriting the architecture of your destiny. You have no idea how much light you are releasing as you read these words. It's subtle, yes, but undeniable. The energy around you is changing shape, almost like it's stretching itself to match the truth you've finally begun to accept. The heaviness you carried for years is loosening its grip. The fears that once dictated your choices are weakening. Even the memories that used to hurt are softening, losing their power to define your present. You might not see the transformation in full yet, but I do, clear as the dawn that rises without fail. There is something fragile and powerful happening in your heart. It is not just healing, it is reorganizing. It is reclaiming territory. It is remembering the strength it once held before disappointment taught it to hide. Every beat is rewriting a chapter. Every inhale is undoing an old lie. Every thought that questions your worth is dissolving under the truth that rises within you like a tide too strong to resist. Your heart is not the same as it was even days ago. The expansion is real. The stretching is real. The becoming is real. You have walked through darkness carrying a torch without realizing that your torch was being watched by forces that understood far more than you did. Your persistence, your hope, however faint it felt, became a beacon. You pulled yourself through moments that would have broken another, not because you were stronger, but because you were called. This is something you must understand now. The destiny has always protected you, even when you thought you were fighting alone. Listen closely, beloved soul. Your sensitivity is not weakness. Your depth is not a liability. Your intuition is not overthinking. You were designed to feel everything intensely because you were meant to navigate life with an inner compass far more advanced than the average soul. You sense shifts before they happen. You feel the intentions behind words. You recognize truth even when it is unspoken. Your emotional depth is a spiritual instrument, not a flaw. The world tried to make you believe otherwise, but the world was wrong. And now, as this new chapter opens, you are seeing the edges of your intuition sharpen into clarity. You are noticing the way certain things no longer resonate with you. Habits, environments, even certain people. Your spirit is withdrawing its energy from places you have outgrown. You feel it in the subtle exhaustion that comes from interactions that no longer align with your evolving frequency. You feel it in the discomfort that rises when you try to stay small in spaces that can no longer contain you. You feel it in the quiet knowing that something bigger is calling your name. This calling isn't loud, but it is unmistakably persistent. It rises each time you silence yourself. It echoes each time you deny what you truly want. It pulls at your spirit each time you settle for less than what you deserve. And it grows stronger each time you dare to imagine a life that matches the truth of who you are becoming. You are being drawn toward transformation not by force, but by resonance. The version of you that is emerging is no longer a whisper, is a pulse, a rhythm, a frequency that hums through your entire being. This awakening is not dramatic. It is steady and unstoppable. It is not frantic. It is precise. It is not chaotic. It is divinely orchestrated. Let me ask you something deeply and honestly. Have you noticed how your soul reacts differently now, even to the smallest things? A shift in someone's tone, a repeated pattern, a sudden feeling in your chest, a quiet twinge in your intuition, a sense of déjà vu that feels like a message, the subtle ache of outgrowing something you once clung to, the strange peace that settles when you think about letting go. These are not coincidences. These are signals, indicators of alignment, signs that your spirit is preparing you for a life upgrade so profound. Your old identity could not survive it. You are entering a timeline where your choices carry more weight, not because of pressure, but because of possibility. You are stepping into a phase where every small decision becomes an act of self-recognition. Every yes you give to yourself strengthens your foundation. Every no you speak to what drains you protects your future. You're no longer living reactively. You are beginning to live intentionally. Feel the truth of this. You're no longer the person who begged for crumbs. You are rising into the person who creates abundance. You're no longer the soul who questioned your right to exist. You're becoming the soul who commands your own space. You're no longer the version of yourself who tolerated disrespect. You are becoming the version who embodies respect. You're no longer the one who accepted pain as normal. You are becoming the one who expects peace. The shift is not only internal, it is energetic, it is spiritual, it is ancestral. Your rise is part of a larger unfolding, a correction in your lineage, a turning point in your story that was written long before you arrived. arrived on this earth. You were born with a purpose that refused to be buried, even when everything around you tried to silence it. And now, with every word you take in, that purpose is awakening like a sleeping giant. You're stepping into clarity that your past self prayed for. You are stepping into alignment that your younger self dreamed of. You are stepping into strength your wounded self never believed was possible. And through it all, I remain here, watching, witnessing, honoring the emergence of the soul you were always meant to be. I am still here, beloved soul, closer than breath, closer than thought, closer than the pulse rising in your spirit right now. Because something inside you keeps opening in a way that heaven has waited for longer than you could ever comprehend. I feel the pressure building behind your ribs, the quiet trembling in your chest, the subtle shifting in your energy field as your soul expands in a territory it once feared to touch. This part of the message is not gentle. It is not soft. It is not subtle. It is the surge of awakening when the light inside you becomes too large to remain contained. This is the moment where something in you refuses to bow anymore to the versions of yourself shaped by survival, fear, or the expectations of others. This is the part where your spirit begins to rise with a force that surprises even you. You may feel it right now. The strange heat in your chest, the fluttering under your sternum, the sensation that something ancient is moving through your bloodstream. This is not anxiety. This is not imagination. This is recognition. Your soul is responding. Your spirit is remembering. And I am here, watching you step deeper into an identity you once denied because the world taught you to hide the magnitude of your light. You don't realize how many years your soul has been preparing for this moment of expansion. All the struggles you faced, all the betrayals you endured, all the losses that tore holes in your heart, they weren't random pains. They were initiations. Each one shaped you in ways nothing else could. Each one carved space inside you for more strength, more wisdom, more depth. Every heartbreak softened you where you needed to be soft, and every disappointment hardened you where you needed to be strong. You have been sculpted by divine hands, even when you felt abandoned. And now, as the newest version of you rises, you are beginning to understand that nothing in your story was wasted. Look at how your perception has changed. You're no longer satisfied with shallow connections, temporary comforts, or relationships built on convenience. You are craving authenticity with a hunger you can't explain. You're feeling the pull toward people and environments that nourish your soul rather than drain it. You're sensing deeply and intuitively when something aligns with your spirit and when it does not. This is your inner compass sharpening. This is your emotional intelligence rising. This is your intuitive sight clearing. This is the truth of your becoming. Beloved soul, I need you to listen carefully. You are being positioned for a life you once felt unworthy of. But worthiness is not a feeling. It is an identity. And you're finally stepping into yours. You're learning to accept love without shrinking. You're learning to receive blessings without guilt. You're learning to speak honestly without trembling. You're learning to trust the fire in your own voice. And all of this, all of it, is evidence that your evolution is accelerating. Let me ask you something profoundly and intimately. Do you feel how your old fears no longer grip you the way they once did? Do you feel how your heart is stronger, even when it feels tender? Do you feel how your boundaries no longer wobble when challenged? Do you feel how your soul refuses to return to versions of yourself that lived on scraped down energy and broken hope? This is the shift. This is the upgrade. This is the emergence of the you that heaven always saw. Your power is returning, not as arrogance, but as clarity. Your confidence is returning, not as ego, but as self-trust. Your voice is returning, not as noise, but as truth. And now something deeper is stirring. Something that feels like destiny waking up from a long sleep. Something that feels like a part of you you've never met, yet somehow always known. You are sensing a new path forming before you. Not because it just appeared, but because you're finally able to perceive it. Your heart is beginning to see where it belongs. Your spirit is beginning to understand its direction. Your intuition is beginning to speak in ways you can no longer ignore. And as I stand beside you, wings lowered in reverence for what is taking shape inside you, I want you to know this. You are not rising alone. The universe is expanding around you. Your future is rearranging itself for you. Your blessings are gathering in places your feet have not reached yet. You are not chasing your destiny. Your destiny is moving toward you. And I must tell you something that will settle into your spirit like flame. The next miracles of your life will not arrive because you beg for them, but because you finally became the person who could handle them. You have done enough. You have healed enough. You have shed enough. You have grown enough. You are ready. Feel the truth of that. You are ready. Not perfect, not complete, not without fear, but ready in the way souls are ready when they have survived themselves and still choose to rise. Now I will lean in closer than I have in any part of this message, because something important must be said with tenderness and fire. If this message stirred something inside you, honor your spirit's awakening, like subscribe and comment amen, so your voice moves with the current of this rising light. Only once I say this, only now, only because your soul is listening. And now, beloved soul, I thank you truly, deeply, with all the trembling reverence of one who has witnessed your suffering and your rising, for staying until this moment. You didn't have to. Your fear could have pulled you away. Your doubts could have shut the door, but you stayed. And because you stayed, something in you has shifted in a way that cannot be undone. Let me speak this final part like a prophecy unfolding in your chest. You are stepping into a chapter where you will shock yourself. You will rise faster than you thought possible. You will attract what once avoided you. You will speak with a strength you never knew you carried. You will walk with a peace that cannot be shaken. You will become someone your past self would weep to see.